Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys detailed information about things around the world. You know, we do biology, geography, history, you know, everything, the whole 9 yards, you know, science, all of that stuff, you know. I like to really share with you guys information that I scourge the internet for, which I know that you can also find yourself, you know, but sometimes you're too lazy to read something or watch a documentary, so you come to YouTube to look for a video explaining what it is, and that's what today's episode is all about, baby. Now, I'm going to be talking about nature and the animal kingdom, you know, two things that I do enjoy a lot. However, this video here might contain a few photos and videos that you might not find very comfortable to see if you can't really deal with a lot of, you know, creepy crawlies and small things in a lot of small things in one area, you know, like invertebrates or insects crawling. So just a fair warning that you might find this similar to my video talking about Snake Island here, you know. I mean, the thumbnail alone might already give you nightmares, you know. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about something that's really cool, fascinates me a lot, this animal, you know, the Christmas Island red crab, you know, native to, you guessed it, Christmas Island, and also the Cocos Islands or the Keeling Islands, you know, in the Indian Ocean. And these crabs are actually really interesting. One of the reasons why I think they are so cool is that there's just such a sheer amount of them on this island, you know. At one point, there was estimated to be about 43.7 million crabs on the island at one point, which comes down to about 0.09 to about 0.57 adult red crabs per square meter. That is a lot of crabbage. That is a lot. Like, if you're a fan of eating crabs, I mean, that's like an all-you-can-eat buffet right there, man. You know, we're talking about millions of carbs right there you're getting from just that little island there. There are two different islands, you know, but apparently the vast majority of them have migrated just to the main Christmas Island, you know, and it's not estimated how many there are in the Cocos Island, but you know, we can pretty much say that there might be at least around a few million as well, you know. Based on genetic evidence, it seems like the crabs from that island there are kind of immigrants from the Christmas Island, so they're all just taking advantage in the mainland. But normally scientists, researchers, they just bunch them all in one single population, which is how we have about 40 million or so. However, there was an accidental introduction, you know, or not an introduction, yeah, pretty much an introduction, you know, of this thing called the yellow crazy ant. That's literally what it's called, you know. Somehow it was introduced to the population there and apparently wiped out anywhere from 10 to 15 million of the crabs in recent years. So yeah, however many there are now, well, I'm just trying to picture this happening, man. This thing called a yellow crazy ant. By the way, that's literally what it's called. You can look this up right now. It's literally called the yellow crazy ant. And I can imagine, like, at what point in the animal kingdom do you reach where ants eat a crab? Like, I imagine that, I know that like a bunch of ants can swarm and attack and actually devour something whole, but I'm trying to imagine a lot of ants eating crabs, you know. I don't really know how that works, but anyway, what else was I gonna say? Oh yes, so the thing about these crabs is that they are equally fascinating, not just for the sheer amount of them on this island and just because they look really good in general, but there is this thing that they do. It's like an annual crazy mass migration, you know, across the land, from the land into the sea to lay their eggs and then come back, you know. And this is the kind of thing that is just, it's referred to as an epic event because it literally stops traffic, you know. It's really, really scary in my opinion. And if you can't picture that as being scary, take a look at these photos here just to give you a small idea of what it's like. Oh boy, I haven't even seen the photos yet, you know, but I'm already feeling really uncomfortable, man. If that doesn't at least make your skin crawl, it's on too tight, you know. That's just, there's something wrong with you, man, because whenever I see a large amount of something moving like that and knowing that it's alive, it just scares the hell out of me because I keep imagining myself falling in there, you know. And these are crabs, man, and it's funny because the crabs themselves aren't really that big, you know. They're about 116 millimeters wide or 4.6 inches, right? The males are larger than the females. Their claws are around the same size, you know. They can regrow if they fall off, you know, it's like, it's actually almost like a Wolverine-esque thing, you know, where it just cuts off and then they just blah, blah, blah. They eventually regenerate, you know, but the females have much smaller claws. But the point is that even if the crabs themselves aren't that big, we're talking about a massive sea of redness just moving as one conjunction, you know, one unit going from land to sea, you know, and then eventually coming back again, you know. And it's really frightening because this is actually a thing that actually halts traffic, you know. You can't just like, you can't continue, you can't keep driving or walking or biking if you see something like this, you know. And unfortunately over the years there have been a lot of fatalities, you know, for the crabs, you know. They were crushed by incoming vehicles, tires, you know, so a lot of them were killed off because of this, because people just weren't careful, you know. And honestly, try to imagine you living on a house near the coast in that is in the direct pathway of these crabs. Brother, I can't imagine going through this, you know, because it's not like it would be traumatic, but imagine the sound. You're gonna hear the scuttling of millions and millions and millions of little, I don't know, legs, paws, whatever the hell crabs have, not paws. You're gonna just hear the scuttling of their legs and maybe their claws clicking. You're just gonna hear that smushing sound. It's gonna be disgusting as hell, you know. You look out the window, you see just this huge red mass moving, you know, towards the ocean. That's just, that'll probably take over an hour for them to all migrate to the ocean, you know. If you have any pets around there, that's not a good idea to keep them around either, you know. It just seems really, really, I don't know, not exactly dangerous, but it seems intimidating. If I witnessed something like this, I probably would feel really uneasy, you know? And of course, if you get in the way of that, you're probably gonna die. If you fall into that, they're all gonna freaking claw at you and maybe claw your neck and your eyes out. I don't know, man. I don't wanna imagine that at all. They do actually range in color. Some of them are red, but they can be orange and even purple, which is like the rarest kind of crab there is, you know. So the females go there, they lay their eggs, you know. There is actually a certain time at which they do this, you know. I guess I lost it here. Let me see if I can find it. I have it on my cheat sheet, but I completely I lost it here. It's a lot of information that I wrote down. Okay, the life cycle, blah blah blah. Okay, no, that's not it. That's also not it. I can't find it now. Oh my god, help me guys. Where the hell is it? Okay, the eggs released by the females, they hatch upon contact with seawater, and clouds of the larvae will swirl around the shore, you know. They stay there for about 3 or 4 weeks, more or less, you know. They go through several different stages, and then eventually they leave the water to make the 9-day journey to the center of the island, you know. So, yeah. So, on top of all that, when the eggs actually hatch, all of the crabs go back from the sea to the land. So, millions of other crabs, you know. This, I think, happens once a year, you know. They migrate once a year, and if you can witness it, it must be quite something. I would rather watch it on Netflix or YouTube if they ever make a documentary showing it, you know. I'll probably show you guys a clip here if I can find one, you know, but I probably wouldn't want to see this up close. Unless I was like on top of a tower with like a telescope or binoculars, you know, very far away from it all. Otherwise, no, you can't convince me to see this up close. Let's take a look at some more photos or maybe, I don't know, a video or something.
The red crabs of Christmas Island. For most of the year, they hid below ground, feeding on rotting leaves. But now, with the monsoon and rising humidity, they begin to march.
Whatever the hell I inserted, it's already making me queasy. Ah, jeez, man. Anyway, so a little bit more about them, right? These crabs actually grow very slowly. They take about 4 or 5 years to reach, you know, maturity, which is when they already start participating in the annual migration to the ocean and back, you know, so it just keeps adding more and more to the millions. Man, they reproduce so fast that they've already replaced all of those millions of crabs that the spiders ate, you know. But then again, adult red crabs have no natural predators, you know. It's when they're young that they can be preyed upon, you know, very easily, you know. They're eaten by pretty much everything, even this thing thing called a coconut crab, you know. It's actually it's freaking crazy. But then again, the red crabs, they have a very strange diet. They're omnivorous, you know, and they scavenge, but they also eat each other. They are known to be, you know, cannibalistic. They eat each other. They even eat human feces, you know, they eat our crap that they find on the street. I don't know how that works, but it's just annoying as hell. But the most important thing about this that I think is really cool is that the residents, the inhabitants of Christmas Island have started to not only tolerate the crabs, but also kind of help them to move their migration along, you know. Because the crabs present a danger to us, not because, for example, if you drive over them, you can actually puncture your car's tires because of their really tough exoskeletons, you know, so that can cause accidents. So in recent years, conservationists, you know, researchers, biologists and the like, they have started to help the crabs out a little bit. They started to make these aluminum barriers that would funnel them through an underpass so they can safely reach the ocean, you know. It's really cool. There's even this 5-meter high crab bridge, they call it, you know, which kind of like helps it's like a wildlife crossing, like bridges on highways for deers or raccoons or what have you to climb over highways, you know. It's the same thing with the crab bridge, and I think that's actually really cool. I honestly think it's a really cool method, you know, because local park rangers, they also try to make sure the crabs don't get hurt, you know, so that I think is really cool. So, you know, people are much more cautious now when driving during the migration, which I think is awesome, you know, because, I mean, even if you're not the biggest fan of an animal, you should always try to respect its, you know, its place in the wild, you know. Like, don't ever mess with nature, man, the animal kingdom, you know. Like, we have driven a few animals to extinction, humanity, you know, so that really sucks. There are certain animals that we literally cannot live without, like bees, for example. In case you guys don't know, bees are responsible for the majority of the pollination in the world. So if bees would just randomly disappear, you know, out of nowhere, then we would die within like maybe days or weeks, you know. It wouldn't take that long. I'll probably do another video talking about this specifically later, but anyway, so back to the crabs, right? I think that it's quite an event for you to witness this, you know, and it's really cool like how these crabs work, you know, because I don't know, witnessing this epic event, you know, I mean, the entire ground just coated in a thick carpet of crabs going to migrate and coming back, you know. I don't know, it's scary on a few different levels, you know. If you love nature, if you're a researcher, a biologist, this is like heaven for you, you know. But I don't think I've ever held a crab in my hands, you know. I've seen them up close when I was a kid in the beach growing up in Florida, but I don't think I've ever picked one up because they always scared the hell out of me, you know, with their pincers and their legs going all like... But yeah, anyway, that's just what it is, man. Freaking crabs. Oh, the Giancardia. What the hell was the scientific name again? The Gicarcodia natalis. Sounds very sexy. Okay, so guys, I don't know what else I can say. You know, I've given my information, I've inserted the photos, the videos, or whatever have you, you know. Now it's your turn to let me know what you thought about this, you know, if you found it informative. First time doing this video on my channel. This is not a remake of an older one. This is the first time doing it ever, so I hope it came out okay. You know, I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like in post, and I guess that's it really. That's all I wanted to say. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about this, if you thought it was informative, entertaining, you know. Let YouTube know as well, because there's this thing now where you can vote on the videos, what you found about the video, how many stars you would give it, so hopefully you give me a good rating. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, if you learned something new. You know, this definitely beats reading about it, huh? It takes a lot less time. But okay guys, that's it for now. If you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel, because I release videos every single day. Literally, 1 video per day, 2 over the weekend. It's all good. You go with the Chazzy. Oh yeah, the 2-for-1 special. And hit the notification bell too, so you can know exactly what time I upload. I don't know if I already said that, but if I did, here it comes again, just to emphasize. And this is Chazzy, signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the pincer-induced outro screen.